All right, brother. Ascension Magic it is. Here we are. Ryan Young, the Ryan Young. What's up, buddy? How are you?
Doing good.
Life treating you well?
Pretty good, yeah. Getting all the different projects set up and moving forward with a lot of stuff this month. So April, month of abundance.
April is month of abundance. So welcome, everybody. Thank you very much. We hope you woke to the most miracle morning and are having the most fortunate day today. My name is Jay. I'm here to host with you with my dear brother here, Ryan Young, who is going to be talking about his journey in life that can hopefully help us in our journey called life. You know how this all rolls, right? So anyway, we wanted to bring Ryan on here. He's got a really cool channel. He's got some great messaging and some great stuff that he's going to be sharing on his journey. And let's find out what that's about. We'll get to learn him. We'll get to meet him together. And background noise, you got it, brother?
Yeah, are you hearing it? Echo?
You got the feedback there?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So anyway, while we're working out the feedback, I want to thank you very much, everybody, for hanging out with us as you always do. If you liking this, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and don't forget to share it where it's at. So we're going to get rid of that feedback in just a second.
Yeah, the background kind of delayed.
Yeah. You got it there? All right, hold on a second. All right, I'm wondering where that's coming from. Is that coming on your end or mine?
I don't think it's coming from mine. I don't know.
All right.
Where
We're going to figure this out in a second. Things on your end.
Because can you hear me echoing?
Now I can't. I heard me.
Yeah.
Things on your end.
Can you hear me?
All right, we're getting there. We're going to get there. Got it? All good?
I was saying there's my voice. I can hear me echoing now.
Okay.
I don't know if it's coming from mine though.
If you hear us twice, if you hear us twice, it's all good. It just means we had something really important to say. All right, cool, man. So listen, I wanted to bring you on here. You got a new channel and everything coming up. Talk to us about that. What's going to be the name of the channel? What are people going to be getting when they watch that channel?
So my channel is called the Ouroborean Butterfly, and basically what that represents is the Ouroborean is my take on the Ouroboros serpent, the snake that eats its tail. And so that's like the cycles of time that you live in, right? Because everybody's talking about these narratives or these different things. Everybody's got a different story. Every religion's got a different story. And when we've got all these different terms for things. So I call that just the cycles of time that you live in, or the astrological cycles of time, the seasons. And then the butterfly is you're that co-creative manifester in the world that can make a difference in those cycles. So a lot of people feel like they're trapped in these stories, or they'll go to somebody and they'll tell them this is how it is. But you actually then hearing that story, believing that, manifests that story, right? You bring that into reality. So this is how it is. You can change your own life. You're that butterfly. And I took that from like the butterfly effect, and I thought it looked cool. So it's just kind of like the butterfly and the cycles of time that can change the patterns.
So, all right, this noise, we're going to figure this out here a second. Give me a minute, brother. This is the beauty of live show here. I'm getting feedback here. I'm hearing, are you hearing?
Yeah.
We're going to figure this out here a second. Give me a minute, hearing it through. Where are we hearing it from? We are hearing it. We are hearing it from somewhere here. Okay, hold on a second, everybody. Hang on with us here. We are hearing it. Somewhere here. Weird, very strange. All right, listen, let's work through it, everybody. No worries. Let's good. We're getting to meet Ryan here again. So when the guests that come on the show, like, what's going to be the theme? Like, where do you really want to go with this, with your channel and everything? Like, what are you trying to really expose out there? What are you trying to really get out there for people?
So something with like the truther community, right? Or the alternative media, I've noticed, is a lot of people left mainstream media sources because they were tired of these negative narratives, right? And they were tired of these, kind of fake media things. So they go to the alternative communities, and then instead of getting like uplifting messages of solution-oriented stuff, they get a lot of negative messages. Oh, this is the end times. This is the whatever the story is for that week. Oh, Mercury's in retrograde now, and it's just like nonsense to nonsense, complacency. Let's not move. Who are we waiting for? Everybody's waiting for somebody. And what I really wanted to do on the show is empower people. And I saw you guys doing that on your show. That's why I really resonated with your guys' show. And instead, you guys ended up being one of the only people I still watched, because I just couldn't do it anymore. I was like, I cannot keep watching this daily dose of trauma from these people. And then they're like, and we'll see you next week. And you didn't tell me anything to do with it. Now what? I go home and I cry. And then I come back and I tune in. I'm on the edge of my seat. It's almost like a form of horror entertainment at that point. Like, where are we at in the story today? So I really wanted to motivate people to do things. And the guests I'm bringing on my channel is, if you're going to talk about a problem, like I say, you got 5 to 10 minutes to talk about it. We got 20 minutes to talk about a solution. And one of my little slogans is assess it, don't obsess it. So you can assess the problem.
Assess it.
Yeah. Assess the problem, give context to your solution. But if you stay stuck over here in this little circle, that little time loop, we're not doing anything. You're going to be waiting forever. So everything is about presenting solutions and presenting opportunities of how people can get on board with stuff, and then talking about the stuff that I'm doing, what my idea of a solution is.
How you liking it, man? Are you liking it? Are you getting in the groove with it? Like, how you feeling when you're getting out there? Like, what's it doing for you as a person?
With the interviews and stuff?
Yeah.
It's really good because and I took something from what you said. You don't got to be perfect to start, but you got to start to get perfect. Right. So yeah, we're a little rough around the edges and stuff, and I don't have a green screen and stuff yet. And we're working that in, but I'm talking to people, I'm networking, which is really exciting. And as you talk about it, like, your projects begin to manifest because you're putting the words out there, stating them. So I'm loving it. Yeah. I've got
That's
4.
great, man. You're doing a fantastic job. You're getting a great response from it. All right, Chelsea, what are you saying here? If I hear about one more GD retrograde, me too, retrograde. Like, can you ever get anything done with the
Is there ever anything good happening astrologically? Is there anything like, all right, something's happening with Pluto, so you better get on it because this is an empowerment? I've never heard it.
No. What are your thoughts on that, man? For real, what are you thinking about that? So you're astrologically, how serious do you think we should be taking it from the way you view life?
Listen, I have fun with all of the esoteric things that we can get into. Astrology's always been fun to me. I kind of lean more towards, it's called Jyotish. It's the Ayurvedic or Indian astrology because it was a lot more fun to me. There is definitely an ancient premise to it. And that's what I refer to with those cycles of time. They exist and they affect you. And when you're born under those energies, yeah, they have an impact on you, and they might affect you more depending on your sign or, whatever stuff more so. But you are not bound to that. That's where people get trapped. Oh, you're a Scorpio. Okay, stay inside for 3 days. You definitely don't want to go drive your car. No. Now we're getting gimmicky, right? There's truth to it. There are energies you can use. You can define your personality, but you have got to break that cycle because you're beyond that. Those might even be challenges that you came in to overcome. And if you're always staying in your house and not driving, you're never going to overcome it.
How much of that do you think's been infiltrated?
Oh my God, a lot. I mean, and my thing's always been this, even with religions or anything, is let's always go back to the source. As far back to the origin as I can get is as close to the truth as I'm probably going to get. So the Western astrology has been highly affected, unless you're talking to somebody who's been studying it deeply and they interact with the other ones as well. Because you'll talk to somebody and they'll be like, oh, I'm this. And they're like, tropical or sidereal? And you're like, I don't even know, dude. I don't know. Nobody knows. It's that convoluted. So there is truth to it, just like there's truth in everything, but it has been heavily infiltrated, I think.
So where are you thinking like we're going to be going like in the next, let's say, for example, like 2022, where do you think we'll be coming out this year? Like that'll be different for us. You think there is a collective consciousness breakthrough, or where do you think it's all going to end up here or land? Do you think there's going to be a division of people always?
No. I see it already happening. This whole year has been a really big transition. Me coming out, I'm one of people like this doing this, saying, all right, problem, we're done talking about it. Done. Now we're going to talk about what we're doing. Because if one analogy I likened it to was, if I'm in a line of people walking towards a fire and I'm going to get burned, am I going to be like looking around in line and be like, man, that fire looks pretty hot? I know that's going to suck when I get there. No, I'm going to be looking for escape strategies, solutions. I'm not going to talk about that problem. I'm going to talk about my solutions. And that's what we're doing. So 100%, I see people getting more in line, more unified. And the concepts that I've had, like with the communities that we can kind of talk about a little bit, it's like as soon as I started talking about it, all of a sudden everybody was wanting to do it.
Yeah.
But no, it'll be like, oh yeah, man, I've always thought about wanting to do that. Yeah, we all have. But now we're doing it. Now we're putting work, faith without works is dead. We're putting work and action to that faith, that concept.
So I want to talk a little bit about your communities, because that's a really cool idea that you got going on. And you're actually this is a real life example, everybody, this guy Ryan here, right? So he's putting this stuff into action. He's really talking about it. He's understanding the art of manifestation. He's going to the places that need to happen. I'm watching you manifest this stuff. I get the privilege to talk to you off air a lot too. So this is really good. It's great to get to meet your spirit brother. And, to see how you're putting this together. But I would like for you to explain to the people watching here, and what's been your vision with this? Like, what do you see when we talk about this community that I'm mentioning? Talk to us about that. Give us the elevator pitch on that one.
Okay, so to bring it back where it started from for me, when I was 19, I was going to massage school, and I've always been. This has nothing to do with any current vaccines or vaccines in general. It has to do with all synthetic medicine. I've always just been kind of not for it. And I'm not saying to everybody to not be. Sometimes, in some cases, maybe it's useful. But for me, I always would rather try all the the natural options first, and then that would be a last resort. So it was born out of me thinking, wow, big pharma kind of really has a big rule on medicine. I'd like to see things go back to ancient medicines because I always loved that. And I was like, I want to start the largest chain of wellness centers to bring in the capital and network to switch the game and destroy that whole industry. Then that evolved to what's been going on in the country and around the world and all that stuff. In talking about positive solutions, I'm not saying there's not issues, but that just gives us stuff to work on. So it's kind of cool because we're on a big game board, right? So that evolved into these communities, having off-grid communities. But the problem that we see is you've got one of a few things. It's either you've got to join some cult, or you've got to ascribe to some religion, or you've got to have a lot of money to get into these communities, or have a lot of money to start one of these communities. And then it's always, let's start a community, one isolated over there, and then you start yours over there, and now they're everywhere. But that's not really bringing people together. So I had this concept of making a franchisable model and making it available to everybody through scalability. Big communities, small communities, levels of buy-in, partnering landowners to developers, everything being off-grid and sustainable. When you do that, you become an economic producer, right? If you are a producer, it doesn't matter if the economy shuts down. You are the economy. You can rebuild the economy. So when we talk about sustainability, I'm talking food, water, power, currency systems, housing, everything you need. And then from there, what you do is you pull people out of the stress cycle. You're creating creators. Now we develop society the way we want it. We become less reliant on the systems at play. We take the fear out of the equation.
I was watching something yesterday, and you probably done more of the research on this, but is it something like it's not that much? It seems like isn't it only like 120, 150 people or so to be able to get together and say we want to have our own city and our own? So it's really not that many people, is it?
It's not that hard. The issue is people are like, and they do it. How do we think the Amish people did it? How do we think these cults do it? They do it. It's being done. How do we do it where people can feel safe to go enter it, right? And here was the biggest kicker. How can I bring you off grid, sustainable, insulated from problems, but not isolated? That's a big thing in the community. That's a slogan I'm using. Insulated, not isolated. I still want you to interact with society. There is no control element here. There is no religious aspect here. There is no you can't go operate over there anymore. No, I just want to give you the opportunity to be protected from this stuff that keeps happening. And what I've been seeing is when you give your power away, we're not talking about a they and a cabal and all this stuff. Sure, whatever, maybe. But I'm just saying people will take advantage of you if you let them. That's just how it is. All right, you want to give me your power? Sure, I'll take it. So it's like people are in the business of giving their power away. That's the whole thing. That's when I say, are you living life or are you letting life live you? That's the difference.
So let me ask you this then. If you get these community pockets going, and I love what you're thinking with these ideas about really helping people like that, but you get these pockets of communities going, right? So is that how you see things should be, or do you see things actually going to happen like that, where there are going to be like, whatever, 1,000 people cities, 500 people cities, and there's just gonna be a lot of these? And then my follow-up question with you on that is, who is the governing bodies behind these cities? Do they self-govern? Do they elect their own, people, kind of thing like that? Their own things? Who oversees them?
I was working with a group, now I can't even remember their name, but they basically were very constitutionally based because I wanted to have some kind of concept to where it was built into the infrastructure, because it's a business, it's a C corporation. I registered it as, and I did that because then you're not dealing with it being it can't be a cult if it's an actual registered business that's bringing in income. And the other thing is, it being a business means I can generate revenue rather than a nonprofit. So now I can bring in big money. I can leverage big money to build out the economy of them so that we can grow them and support people with less money. You know what I mean? It takes money to make money, to give money. You have to have in order to give to others. So that's why I did it as that. What was the question though with the first question?
Yeah. So how, like the governing, the governing body, you know what I mean? Like who would it be self-police these communities? You know, do they have their own self-policing bodies that are elected by the, you know, like for example, like you start the franchise of the first one. So let's say you're the CEO of the city or the president of this city. Do you then, in this example, would you be the one that appoints the officials that are saying, okay, this is this, or how's that even look? What does that look like?
No, see, that would be like dictatorship level.
Okay.
What it is I'm the CEO of the company at this point in time, but it's a franchise model. I don't own the communities. Any community that I set up, I would be the developer of that community. But the housing model, they own their houses, the land plot, that's whoever owns it. That might be the landowner. So it's a franchise model people buy into, but that's your communities. It's like a neighborhood. Does anybody own a neighborhood? No, but we can institute governing bodies that are constitutionally based or whatever. If we have something better than that, it's really what it's doing is it's taking big government and it's making it really, really small.
So when you're this is really fascinating, man. This is really, and I hope everybody's grabbing this because this very well really could be our future. And it looks like, and there's already real examples of this. So when you're there and let's say people said, okay, a group of people, let's say people watching here and they say, okay, Ryan, you know, I want to start to get into one of these cities you're getting, and they start to come here. Do they lose any rights as a citizen of a state that they're in, like there? Or do they just as a and okay, how about this one? Are they then protected by this? Are they shielded by the rights of this city and saying, you can't get me here because I'm in this crime? You know what I mean? So can there be any boundaries with any type of law enforcement that can cross over there? How does that work?
So these are all issues that we're going to deal with because as we've seen, when they put certain mandates out, a lot of big businesses were subject to that. At that point in time, it really comes down, first off, if it's constitutionally based, which is why I wanted to go that route. And I want to build in a premise into that groundwork of it can never be usurped by a model that is against the intrinsic rights of humans. And a mandate of that nature always is. You can have the option to do it. I don't care. That's what my thing is. I'm not going to tell you what not to do, but I'm also not going to tell you what to do, you know? So, you're not going to lose any rights. When I say you're protected, I mean like through our currency system and everything that we're going to have, we do, but the currency system, your self-sustaining grid. It's not that we have our own laws and stuff. I guess you could, but that's not what the intent is. The intent is really at this point in time, and remember, this can always transition. As people do this, and this is like the segue into the new mindset of people being empowered, people will develop their own cities at that point. Like we will just start redeveloping things. So at this point in time, what I see it as is self-sustainable neighborhoods, essentially.
So would it be like, let's say a bunch of merchants got together, there's a plot of land, there's some housing there, merchants got together, they build a little shopping village, if you would, and they all agree that this is the, currency we're going to accept for transactions in this specific village, right? So then anybody living and cohabitating in that village can use that coin or that digital part for that grocery store, that gas machine, that clothing store, whatever. Everybody agrees that, hey, if you're going to be part of this as a merchant, your primary thing is going to be to accept this form of currency. Is that fair to say? Am I on the right track there?
Yes, but this is what's so cool about this. You don't even have to accept it. I'm not going to be pitching you like a piece of paper that says, hey, we're all agreeing this is the currency, right? What we're doing is, and this is what I figured out a while ago, we can't run off and hide in the shadows and do this off-grid stuff, right? Well, you will never solve the problem. You were planted here in this society for a reason. You have to transmute. It's like if you see a dark room, are you going to run away from it, or are you going to turn your brightness up and get in there and shine your light, right? So we are in this situation to change it. So with the communities, the currency system is a digital asset that's backed by precious metals and already established currency. So we're using the systems that we already have currently, right? That currency system is transferable or immediately liquefiable into the US dollar. And that's where we come into insulated, not isolated, because what is running the communities, right, producing, it has a ground floor precious. It's like going back to the gold standard, but you can it still has a value on the market to transfer to the US dollar. So if the whole economy collapses around us, our thing still functions, but you're not stuck in it.
I got you.
That's the concept. Yeah. And the currency we're using, this is what's really setting us apart. There already are banks that are on board with it, and it's already SEC compliant. We're not doing anything illegal, and we're not going to. And the reason is because that's when you get shut down. We all live in a big game, I like to see it in. That's what's made things more fun, instead of thinking like, oh, it's us versus the dark. And also that just made things very stressful. Think of it as a game, and it's like, all right, now we're getting the ball back in our court, but we're on the court.
I got
We're
you.
using the same ball here. So we just got to leverage capital and network into ourselves, and then we get to make the rules as the people. And it's really bringing that reliance. What the federal government has done is it's made your reliance on them. It's created these structures where you become more and more reliant, and then they tighten the noose. And then, of course, you have to capitulate to mandates because they'll shut you down. You can't survive. If you're self-sustaining, what mandates are you going to follow? You're like, what? I got my food. I got my water. I can take care of my family. I've got my house. I've got my power, and we've got our own currency.
Are you where are you getting the downloads from, man? Are you studying this stuff, or are you downloading it? Where's it coming from?
I do a lot of study, but I think honestly, the innate gift that I think I've been given is I see what people are doing. I see different companies working on these projects, and I'm like, how can I pair them and leverage them with this company over here to put together a bigger ecosystem that benefits people? Everything that I'm doing, it's coming out of a humanitarian mindset. I've just learned now that we can't just leave the system. We have to change the system, because that's what conscious living is, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Constantly making decisions. When you talk about buying products from somewhere, consciously knowing who you're buying from, not just going and, we all do it. Like, I'm just going to go whatever, and I just want to turn my brain off. But really focusing on being more conscious about everything you do is really going to change the way the whole system is, I think.
I think this is very cool what you're doing, man. I mean, it's well thought out. And you know what? It's taking action. It's starting the process of manifestation, right? You know what I mean? And that's it. This is how you do it, everybody. This is manifestation at its finest there. Hey, you talked about supplements earlier. I want to talk about
what do we got?
And Big Blue, man. Let's talk about that. Yeah. Magic Palladium stuff here, man. You've been checking this out here. What's been your experience with this, brother? We're looking at you are seeing a stream going there. Young Asia.com, right? With a number there. So that's Ryan's information right there. So anyway, we are here showing you something called the Renew 28. And this is a ASEA Redox. Tell us about this, your experience with it, what it's doing for you, brother.
So me personally, I started doing it about a little over a month ago, right? 5 weeks ago. And I was doing the 8 ounces. I noticed increased exponential energy to the point where, because I take pre-workout, I go to the gym, I'm putting on more muscle. One of the things that I needed to overcome that was, kind of inhibiting my ability to put weight back on was I did a bone marrow transplant a little over a year ago. And takes a while to recover from that, but also it's your cells, like, you know what I mean? They take all of your little baby cells. So it takes forever to get back in the groove. And then you might not ever actually fully get back in the groove. This has really helped me just blast past that kind of, complacency that it put me in to get back into the game. And it superpowers my pre-workout, superpowers any coffee I take, to the point like I couldn't even take coffee anymore because it was combining the two. And then the Renew stuff for your skin and the for like pain, the put it on 3 times in 5 minutes deal with the Renew 28 for any pain spots, especially after working out, tense muscles, gone. And that's even my friends that I've shown it to, they've done it and they're like, this is insane.
It is insane.
Pain away.
It's wild, bro. I mean, I was talking to someone the other day. I went for a run, and I'm going for a run 3-4 miles, right? And on concrete, and there's just nothing. there is just no discomfort. I can't find it anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, it is the coolest, weirdest thing at the same time. You know what I mean?
The other thing, because you said Pleiadian stuff, right?
Yeah.
Fun. Ascension juice, whatever, we can talk about that in this crowd. Legitimately though, your intuitive capabilities really increase. It motivates you to do stuff. And then, like, I think you were telling me a story where you didn't want to go to sleep. You were just, it was like the limitless pill. And it really is like, it really puts you in touch. The crazy thing was, okay, the first thing I noticed was day one, I hadn't been dreaming for like 2 weeks. Went on a little bit of a drinking bender. I was out in some stressful environments. So
it's all good, brother.
I hadn't had a dream in 2 weeks, and I was stressing because your dreams are a place where you can go and really manifest stuff. You're really talking to your subconscious in there. So I had a dream that night, remembered it, and then continued taking it, was remembering all of my dreams, which was really cool for me. And I was sleeping again, obviously, which was nice. But I mean, if you take it too close to bed, then you probably won't be sleeping. But no, because what it's doing is it's supercharging every part of you. So if it's re-energizing your pineal gland, which is that intuitive center, that tuning fork to the bigger realm, right?
Yeah.
Then you're going to be having all sorts of experiences. And that, I do think, really did facilitate a lot of downloads, because a lot of the community stuff concepts started really manifesting. You remember when we first started talking, it was a lot of concepts and drawing board stuff, and I was doing
now you're able to actually get a roadmap. It's pretty specific, right?
Yeah. And the universe literally will connect you to people. It's like I was just automatically I was meeting people, getting partnered up with people that I was like, how on earth? I almost to the point where I was like, what do I even have to leverage in this deal? Like, why do they even want to talk to me? And I was like, knock that shit off. You have everything to leverage, and you go in there with confidence. And I really feel like that helped facilitate a lot with that, because we've made some serious headway.
It's amazing you say that. I was just thinking about today, I don't care who you are, but if you're in the business of being an intuitive, or you need an intuitive size, or you agree that at least you resonate with the fact that your intuition is a very key part of your existence and you need it.
Yeah.
You got to get this Ascension juice stuff. This is insane.
Ascension in a bottle.
It's so, man, you know what? I honestly, I shit you not, man. I really feel like this comes from, I always say it on the show and people think I'm joking, but I don't think I am anymore. I think this is from I said it initially. I thought I was like, it's kind of, but because it's blue, right? I just don't think I am anymore, because it is amazing and freakishly awesome, the downloads I get, the specifics of how to do something I get. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, where would I have gotten that idea? Where would I have gotten that thought? Where would I have gotten that blueprint right there? It's all in there. This stuff's happened. This is again, I'm grateful for whoever the creators are in this one, because I really believe this is not only are you noticing the age regression, man? Come on now, you know that, right? You do that, all that, right? Pretty good, isn't it?
And my friend my first friend that I showed it to, Jacqueline, she's been on a ton of different, like this, because they have some skincare stuff too, and then obviously the renew stuff. But I sent it to her, and she was like, "This is crazy." She stopped taking all of her other stuff. Yeah. It took even like rashes and stuff, or scars. It was just like I don't know. I think her rash was maybe like a psoriasis base or something. Gone.
Yeah.
She said that was a personal testimony from her. I'm not saying it'll happen. I'm just saying, like, it happened.
It happened. We've seen it. We interviewed Victoria Reynolds, and she was on, and she showed her psoriasis and before and after pictures. I could talk about it because we did a show on it with her. Yeah. So, but it's a miracle. This stuff's happening. This is really the miracle ascension stuff. I personally think this is what we've been waiting for, to really help accelerate us and Mach speed us through this journey in life. You know what I mean? I really think this has been an amazing gift to us, man. I'm glad you're experiencing greatness with it. I'm glad it's helping you with, what you're doing with your community, and really helping get you tighter on the vision. And that's what we need, right? Because everybody comes in with all these, fantastic ideas. And then the challenge always is like, okay, how do I get clarity on this? Right. You know what I mean? How do I refine that even better? And that's what you seem like you've gotten a lot tighter on that. And that's awesome. It really is.
one of the things was, because then the project, you start to, it's all grandiose. It's a big concept. Oh, we're going to do this and this and this. And then you talk to somebody who starts playing devil's advocate and starts poking holes in your thing. Well, where's your funding coming from? Where's this coming from? And then I'm like, oh God. Then that's when but see, that's you reflecting back in your outside environment of where you need to get your ass to work. Then I built out the executive summary. I built out the business plan. My partnerships came through. We figured out what our next steps were. We've got the logo, which is awesome. We've got we're developing out our pitch deck.
Man.
So and that really is, I mean, it's been coming together, but it has definitely been going warp speed since I got on that stuff, because it will drive you to do whatever you're doing. It will,
look, whoever's watching this, I hope you get this, is that every conscious business owner should be on this right now. Every conscious, because we're in the business of always trying to figure out a solution. That's our business, right? We're solution oriented. We get ideas and we're like, okay, now how do you take this to action? And also how's it going to benefit people? And you get the roadmap on this. I mean, we all need a little bit of something there. Brother, I appreciate you coming on and sharing today, everything you got going on, your vision with everything. And I can't wait to see, your channel growing. You got some fantastic interviews that you've already done on there. So the links will be in the description below. Everybody do check them out. Just make sure the links stream in there. If you want to get your Ascension juice going, and your stuff, and give yourself a competitive edge, go to that link right there. Ryan's there, and get connected. Hey, so he's also put his phone number out there too. So if you all need any help with just like, hey, what do I take? Like the, choosing and everything like that, he can help support you that way too. So what else, brother? Any final words before you leave us?
Reach out if you guys want to do interviews for the channel. I'm building it out right now. So interviews, if you're already on the ASEA, come on, talk about, your impact with it. And really just, if you come to the channel, what it is we're talking about solutions. So make sure you got one. Otherwise you're going to start getting grilled, because that's what we're doing. We're empowering people. That's what it's about now. That is 2022. 2020 and maybe 2021 was the dark night of the soul for us. The dark night of the soul is over. We're at the new part of the journey, and now we are walking into the light, but we're making the light. So you got to be active. And
right on.
What is it? Lead, follower, get out of the way, right?
Lead, follower, get out of the way. You have to, man. You have to. And you have to be that bold about it too. Lead, follower, get out of the way. And I think we got a lot of leaders here, man. You're a great leader here. I appreciate you stepping up and sharing this, what you're doing here. I can't wait to see these communities come to life. And I hope when you do the first one, you actually unveil it here with us. That would be very cool. So yeah, that'd be much love to you. Much love to you, my brother. Much love to you on your journey. Thank you for your service and everything you're doing to help us on our life. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us as you always do. And we will and just joined your channel. Okay, very good. I'm sure you're going to love it, Ann. So she just joined your channel, Ryan. So anyway, listen, much love, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll see you all next time, all right? Thanks, brother.
Yes.
Boom, boom, boom.